37 years ago, the former England international John Barnes was targeted by a rival football fan. In what became a famous image, Barnes flicked away a banana that had been thrown at him with his heel. Even in the 21st century, each decade has seen black footballers subjected to monkey chants or fans using images of monkeys to target them. In the last 7 years alone, there have been at least a dozen incidents in European football, ranging from rival fans in derby matches in Manchester and London in the Premier League, players being abused by other players in the English women's game, the fans of various Italian clubs chanting at their opponents' players, French and England players being targeted when playing international football, and perhaps worst of all, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, and Jadon Sancho being targeted by England fans after they missed penalties in the Euro 2020 final against Italy. These slares have not just been limited to football. In 2009, a picture of the First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama, was altered to make her look like an ape and posted on the internet, and a Republican Party activist responded to a report about a gorilla that had escaped from a zoo by suggesting it was one of Mrs. Obama's ancestors. These ideas are part of a range of labels designed to make people appear inferior, no matter how far these claims are from the facts, and regardless of the evidence that proves them to be false. The connections made between black people and monkeys and apes dates back at least 700 years. At the beginning of the 14th century, the physician Arnaud de Villanova claimed that the hot climate made black people, quote, inform like apes. 300 years later, when Thomas Herbert visited Africa, he described the people he encountered as cannibals who were sexually depraved and mated with baboons. He also wrote that they were addicted to plunder and theft and compared their language to that of an ape. John Locke, the influential English philosopher, was an investor in a slaving company, the Royal Africa Company. He argued that women could have children by monkeys in an essay concerning human understanding in 1690. The type of monkeys Locke referred to are only found in Africa. Slavers who owned plantations also contributed their ideas. Edward Long, an English slaver based in Jamaica, compared enslaved Africans to monkeys and apes. He also described them as idle, unintelligent, sexually depraved, beast-like thieves. In Britain, as campaigns to end slavery grew, those who were against abolition responded. Brian Edwards, an English MP and slaver, wrote that black people in the West Indies were lustful and looked like baboons. From the end of the 18th century, the theories multiplied. Whilst the German anatomist Samuel von Sommering believed that Africans resembled the apes in the regions where they lived, the French naturalist Georges Cuvier compared them with monkeys, apes, and even mandrills. These comparisons were made in England by the surgeon Sir William Lawrence. He made similar arguments to de Villanova and von Sommering. This was followed towards the end of the 19th century by the German biologist Ernst Haeckel, who declared in 1877 that Africans and Asians, quote, by their mode of life resemble more troops of apes than civilized human societies. The facts are that monkeys and apes have different bodies and faces. Some have pale-colored faces, and all have thin lips and straight hair, but this was ignored by the people who put these theories forward. Racial theories that started with the exploration of Africa, then used to justify slavery, were given a level of credence due to the reputations of those who espoused them. They are very much with us in the form of racial abuse in sports stadia and on social media. This is long after the basis of the arguments made have been disproven by modern scientists. However, their lack of validity is of little comfort to those on the receiving end of them. Stay tuned for more videos on where racism comes from. And please, like, share, and subscribe.